Every single person at this party just got handed a Rolex. Not because it was anyone's birthday, but because the man throwing the party felt like it. Yesterday alone, he made $40 million before he'd even brushed his teeth. A helicopter, two private islands, a cat named Deductible. By any measure, he had made it. But 3 years earlier, this same man was sleeping under a bridge with a torn sleeping bag and absolutely nothing to his name. This is the story of how he got from there to here. His name was Dez, and this was day 200 and something of living outside. He'd stopped counting around the time he'd stopped caring. A jogger stopped, asked if he was okay, and told Dez he'd been sleeping in his car himself 18 months earlier. Now he made $2,000 a week flipping sneakers online. He pressed $60 into Dez's hand. "Don't waste it on food, you'll forget by tomorrow," the jogger told him. "Turn it into something. Everybody's one idea away." And then he jogged off, back into his own life, before Dez could even ask his name. $60 isn't much, unless it's all you have, in which case it's everything. Dez needed to figure out fast what he was actually good at. Back home, he used to fix his cousin's phones for fun. That was the move. He spent every last cent of the $60 on a cheap screwdriver kit and a few screen protectors from a pawn shop. Turns out nobody wants a stranger off the street touching their $400 phone. In hindsight, obvious. A woman walked past, furious at her own shattered screen. Dez offered to fix it right there, in front of her, for $8. No risk, she could watch the whole thing. Skeptical, she agreed, if only to make him go away. 5 minutes later, her phone looked brand new. She handed him a 20, told him to keep the change, and said her entire office was full of cracked screens just like hers. That was it, and that was the whole business right there. One cracked screen at a time. Word spread through that office building, then the one next to it. Within a month, Dez wasn't working off a curb anymore. He had a folding table and a line of customers. He hired his first employee, an older man named Preston, a former electrician who'd been out of work for years. It was Preston's idea to stop waiting for customers and go to them instead. Mobile repair, straight to your office or driveway. 6 months later, 3 vans were running routes across the city. A year after that, Dez had an app so people could book a repair in 30 seconds flat. 2 years in, they weren't just fixing screens anymore, and laptops, game consoles, smartwatches, all of it. Franchises started opening in other cities. Dez hadn't picked up a screwdriver himself in months. An investor called with an offer, $4 million to fund the next 100 locations. Dez said yes almost before the sentence finished. Then he sat there quietly for a moment, wiped his eyes, and laughed at himself. 18 months earlier, he'd been charging $8 under a bridge. He never quite got used to the distance between those two facts. 3 years. Curb to $2 billion. Through all of it, one rule never changed for him. Fix the actual problem in front of you and the money follows. And then, mid-celebration, something in him just stopped. He set his drink down, told no one where he was going, and left. He'd spent 2 years quietly looking for that jogger who gave him $60 and never found him. The man had simply handed over the money and disappeared back into his own life, the way strangers do. So, Dez sat down next to a girl he'd never met and asked her the only question that had ever mattered to him. "What are you good at?" She was guarded at first, wary of a stranger in an expensive coat, but when he explained why he was asking, she finally answered. She could braid hair fast, and she was good at it. "Then let's talk," he said, "about your first $60. They say the bottom isn't the end of the story. It's just the part nobody wants to film.